Ashley Langan. Today I'm going to talk to the actors behind the new movie Animal Farm. Animal Farm is about animals who overthrow their farmer, Mr. Jones, because they believe it will lead to a better way of life. However, the farm becomes more corrupt than it ever was when the pigs take charge, and then it becomes impossible to tell the pigs from the humans. Please welcome to the stage the actress who plays Snowball, Shannon Russo. So Shannon, what role does your character Snowball play in the movie?
Well, Snowball is the rival of Napoleon, who is the leader of all the animals. In real life, Snowball represents Leon Trotsky, who is Stalin's rival. Snowball is blamed when Napoleon's projects end badly, and he's used as a scapegoat by Napoleon, who represents Joseph Stalin. Even though Snowball was originally liked by all of the animals, Napoleon ends up making all of the animals turn on him.
So can you give us some insight on some of the characters in the novel and the movie?
Sure. Old Major is an elderly boar only seen in the beginning of the movie and in the original novel by George Orwell. He's known for being wise, and he's the one who encourages the animals to rebel. Everybody respects him because he's the most wise and the most experienced out of all of them. Another major character is Boxer the horse. Boxer carries most of the workload because of his strength. Although he suspects something is up, he isn't capable of figuring out. Once Boxer gets injured, Napoleon secretly sends him off to be slaughtered. Squealer the pig, he's Napoleon's spokesperson. He uses propaganda to make the animals obey his orders. Squealer does all of Napoleon's dirty work for him.
Where in the world do the movie and novel take place?
The movie takes place in England on Manor Farm, which was originally owned by Mr. Jones.
Thank you for your time on the show today, Shannon.
It was great being here.
See you later with the rest of the cast. Next in the cast, we have Audrey Delabarba, who played the role of Clover.
Okay.
So what's your character Clover like in the novel and movie?
Clover is very strong and intelligent. She can see the farm starting to become corrupt and out of control, but she can't figure out where to put the blame since she was being fed lies by Napoleon Squealer.
So who does Clover symbolize in the movie?
Clover represents the people who could see that something was wrong with how the government was running in World War II, but they're being told so many lies that they couldn't blame a person or a thing. They could see that something wasn't right, but they couldn't figure out why.
Can you give me some insight on some of the fellow characters?
Sure. Molly is a horse on the farm who eventually runs away to be with a human. When the laws of animalism are made, she's upset about the fact that she has to give up her ribbons and sugar cubes, since these objects represent the time when the humans were in power. Moses is an old, wise bird who always talks about Sugar Candy Mountain, a supposed heaven. He was also a spy for Mr. Jones, and he would disappear for days at a time. The 9 dogs on the farm are Napoleon's bodyguards. They attack anybody who goes against him or his plans, and they are constantly by his side. Napoleon raised them as puppies in secrecy. The dogs are the ones who chase Snowball off the farm. The dogs represent Stalin's army who killed and followed Leon Trotsky.
Can you tell me about any of the neighboring farms?
Sure. One of the farms next to us, Picklington, joins with the pigs of the manure farm at the end of the movie. Throughout the movie, the pigs try and negotiate with the other farms like Foxwood and Picklington to sell their timber, eggs, and other goods. The farm represents the different allies Stalin had in World War II.
Thank you, Audrey, for your time. We can't wait to see you play Clover in the movie.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Woo! Welcome back, guys. Next, please welcome Sabrina Borgard, who plays Boxer in the movie.
Ashley, thanks for having me today.
Thank you for coming. Who does your character Boxer represent in the novel and movie?
Boxer represents the working class during World War II. He carried all the work for everybody in the Soviet Union during that time. That's what Boxer does for the entire farm. He's the most hardworking character, which is why he represents the Soviet Union. His slogan is "I'll work harder," and it gives him the motivation for working harder towards Napoleon and the farm, like many people in the Soviet Union that had to do during World War II.
How does Boxer interact with other characters in the movie and book?
Boxer is friendly with all the animals on the farm. He helps out when animals need him, and he always goes an extra mile for all the animals. Boxer never questions what he was told.
What were working conditions like on Manor Farm?
They're extremely harsh for all the animals except the pigs. The pigs used to drink beer and lounge around while all the other animals were pushed to their limits. When they worked on the windmill, he constantly worked overtime. The other animals were considerably weak compared to Boxer, especially their food portions were always cut in half. Napoleon never did manual labor, he just oversaw the other animals.
Thank you, Sabrina, for coming on the show today.
No problem, it was great being here.
Let's go back to the scene in the Animal Farm movie. This scene is an important one, since it fairly summarizes the movie and novel. It shows the pigs, who have become the supreme animals on the farm, in front of the barn that used to list the rules of animalism. This is also a bit of irony, since the rule previously stated that all animals are equal, but by now, the pigs have edited it to say, but some animals are more equal than others. As stated before by Shannon, the pigs represent Stalin and his dedicated followers. The rules created by the pigs are similar to Stalin's beliefs, which had some people, represented by other characters in the movie and novel, questioning their own beliefs. This is the windmill that the animals tried to build. This caused a power struggle between Snowball and Napoleon. After Napoleon chased Snowball away, he stole his ideas for the windmill. When it was knocked over during a storm, Napoleon blamed Snowball for it. The second time it fell over, the humans knocked it down. Our last actor being interviewed today is Nathan Pacheco, who is playing the role of Napoleon.
Hi Ashley, thanks for having me on your show today.
So Nathan, your character Napoleon plays a major role in the film. Do you want to give the audience an insight on your character?
Sure. Napoleon is a cold-hearted yet powerful pig. Napoleon takes control of the farm after all the animals rebelled against Mr. Jones. He demands all the animals to do certain jobs and changes the rules so they benefit him. Throughout the book and movie, Napoleon slowly starts acting more like a human than a pig, and goes against the original 7 commandments Old Major set.
Who does Napoleon represent?
Napoleon represents Joseph Stalin during World War II. Like Stalin, Napoleon takes complete control and uses propaganda to get what he wants. Stalin got rid of or killed anybody who got in his way of power, which Napoleon does with Snowball. When he gets votes for the windmill, Stalin and Napoleon were both hypocrites by not following the rules and laws they set and did anything they wanted without anyone stopping them. George Orwell wanted people to see how corrupt Joseph Stalin was, and how he was running the Soviet Union, which was out of control.
Can you explain how Napoleon was able to gain control of the farm and animals?
Napoleon was able to be so powerful because Squealer, who lies to all the other animals about what Napoleon is actually doing. All the animals didn't realize how power-hungry Napoleon actually was because he had a clean image. None of the animals knew Napoleon wasn't following the commandments, or slowly gaining human traits because they had been brainwashed by all the lies that had been told. None of the animals were strong or clever enough to blame Napoleon for their declining government in the farm, or to blame him for going against the laws and not being a good ruler. Napoleon was able to stay in power because he knew how to trick the animals into doing anything he says, and he knew he was smarter than they were, and the animals were vulnerable to him in some way.
Thank you, Nathan. Next, we're going to see Nathan and all the cast members and ask them a few questions. Now, please welcome back the actors that we saw earlier. Welcome back. Now, I'm going to ask you a few questions about Animal Farm. How is Animal Farm relevant today?
Animal Farm shows us how corrupt the world is today. Many countries are under strict control from their leaders. For example, North Korea isn't allowed to have internet or cellular devices. If they attempt to leave, they will be killed. Another example is the Middle East. Women can't get an education and can only speak when spoken to. They're in constant war and under the control of ISIS. Animal Farm subtly shows us how we're all controlled in some way. At any moment, the government can take over our lives and dictate our choices.
What can we learn from this?
We can learn from Animal Farm that no matter how pure people's intentions are, power can turn people evil. We can also learn that politicians will lie in order to achieve what they want. There will always be a social hierarchy, even though we are all supposed to be equal.
What do you think the theme or main message of the story is?
I think the main message of the movie is that we all have to be aware of how our country or society is being run, and making sure we're not being taken advantage of by people in the government. Also, George Orwell makes a point of showing that not everyone is what it seems. Not everything is perfect and innocent. Really bad events are happening all over the world, but we just need to open our eyes and see that.
Thank you all for coming today. I had fun learning about Animal Farm and its deeper meanings. I can't wait to see the movie. It'll be great.
Thank you. Bye.